From its beginning, the Outer Sunset has been defined by its row house-style single-family homes and its low-rise multi-unit buildings. It's an area where no building is higher than 100 feet, and for the first time ever, that aesthetic could change as renderings and plans have been filed with the city for a proposed 50-story residential tower to be built right back here. On today's episode of The City Uncovered, we are unpacking the details of this building, what it could mean for the Sunset District, and how it can affect our real estate market. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, we talk about all things San Francisco, do luxury home tours, and give regular real estate market updates. So if you are into any of those, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and tap that notification bell so you don't miss any of the future content. Also, do me a favor and hit that like button, as it will force YouTube to push this content out to more people. I would really appreciate it. And now let's get into the details of the Sunset Skyscraper. Plans for a 50-story building to be developed right here in Outer Sunset are currently in discussion with the city. The building is designed to have 680 units and rise more than 580 feet into the sky. Architectural firm Solomon Cardwell Benz have submitted plans for what looks to be a thin, tall tower wrapped in glass. It will have floor-to-ceiling windows and balconies on each floor. In total, it would be just over 669,000 square feet, with some of that space being for retail, community centers, a gym, underground parking, and even talks of childcare facilities. Of the 680 units, 110 of them would be affordable housing units, restricting these units for those who make less than 80% of the city's median income. The majority of these units will be studios and one-bedrooms. 328 of them will be studios, and one-bedroom units will account for 176 units. 108 units will be two bedrooms, and 68 units will be three bedrooms. The skyscraper will be a couple of blocks from the beach and right across from the San Francisco Zoo between Sloat and Wawana and 45th and 46th Streets. The site of choice is the location where the Sloat Garden Center resides, a business that has been serving the community since the 1950s. The original idea for this building started over a decade ago and has since gone through some adjustments, which eventually became the skyscraper plans we see today. Back in 2008, the Garden Center site was granted conditional use permits for a residential development. Things sat stagnant until 2015, when a proposal submitted called for a smaller 56-unit building with 7 units dedicated to affordable housing. Those plans changed to an 85-foot building with 213 units, of which 49 would be for affordable housing. They again changed to a 125-foot tall building with 283 units, and then changed again to a structure with 400 units, and then one last time it changed to the 680-unit plans we're discussing today. Plans for this building have not been viewed as favorably as some may have thought it would. For starters, city officials have said that the proposed project is several times taller than what regulations allow in the neighborhood. Again, the Outer Sunset is an area where buildings don't pass 100 feet in height. This skyscraper would actually be 316% taller than the area's zoning regulations. Right out of the gate, there are zoning and regulation restrictions that have to be met and/or worked out for a building of this magnitude to be given approval. However, the project applicants are disputing the city's interpretation of the state law surrounding those restrictions. Then there's also the neighborhood residents and the Save Our Neighborhoods San Francisco group, who have created a petition to shut down the project, gathering around 2,000 signatures. Okay, so I have Renee of Save Our Neighborhoods here. Tell us what your thoughts are about this proposed tower that they are talking about building here.
It's absurd. It doesn't fit the nature and the character of the neighborhood. It's too large, it's built on sand, it's an environmental nightmare. That used to be the home of a toxic waste of gas stations and auto repair sites. There's the snowy plovers, which are endangered. Yeah. The zoo is right there, it'll affect them. There are other areas that can be converted into apartments for rent or condos for sale to benefit people. Yeah. And also, it's not an affordable program.
There's always been this proverbial beauty about the structure and layout of the Sunset District. The addition of the skyscraper would dramatically change the skyline aesthetics of the neighborhood. This massive building would now become the prominent landmark of the area. Even though some homes are on small rolling hills, that view of the ocean will now be obstructed, or you could be caught in the shadow of the building in the afternoon. I understand the skyline and obstructed view is not the end of the world by any means. However, my thought is once a building of this magnitude is given the green light, I'm sure others will be given the green light too. I personally just can't imagine one building this size being approved and no others to follow. There would be an increase in density or overall traffic within the neighborhood. The Outer Sunset is a neighborhood that feels nothing like the rest of the city. It's very tranquil and suburban with lots of families. You start adding skyscrapers to the mix, and it's likely that dynamic will change. You will have more traffic and will need to make sure the infrastructure is set up to support that growth. not to mention the concerns of the actual area where they're talking about building the skyscraper. Many residents have concern that sand is underneath that specific location and that it would not be structurally fit for a building of that size. So I am here with Ms. Josephine, who has been a local resident here in Outer Sunset for how long?
Over 50 years. Does anybody have any common sense in this town anymore? I mean, this is ridiculous. So how can the Planning Commission even consider putting up a 50-store tower right across from my house? I don't even think there's rock under there. If they put it up, it's probably all going to fall down. I know we need more housing, but there's a lot of other alternatives. It's going to devalue the property around here. It's going to just make the whole area not even the Sunset Parkside anymore.
Regulations and historical charms aside, there are a few good things that this building would do for the community. One of the more important things that we struggle with in the city is the affordability of housing. Buying or renting is not cheap to live in San Francisco. The proposed plan is utilizing the state's density bonus program. They are able to build more floors and units if they allocate more housing to the affordable housing program. Now, I know it would only be 110 units that would fall under the affordable housing guidelines, but it's a start. So those who make 80% of the city's median income will have an opportunity to purchase their piece of the city. Secondly, it starts to tackle our overall issue with housing inventory, which falls in line with the state-mandated plan to build 82,000 new units over the next 8 years. The last time we had enough inventory to consider it being a normal market was back in November of 2020, and that was the last time we had 6 months worth of inventory. Even in our slower market today, we don't even have 3 months of inventory, which is extremely low. This inventory, too, has an indirect effect on the overall affordability of the city. The better we can help supply meet demand, the better pricing we'll get for future potential home buyers. One thing I do know is that we definitely need more housing. And this is going to have multiple impacts on the community in a positive way. I just don't know if this necessarily would be the correct answer. But any idea that does give us more housing, I definitely think we need to take a serious look at it. Obviously, there are pros and cons to everything. Now, what do you guys think? Do you think that they should approve the plans for this residential tower, or do you think they should find alternative solutions for more housing? Drop it in the comments and let me know. I'm curious to see about your thoughts. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're thinking about making a move in San Francisco, I would love to be your real estate resource of choice. Shoot me an email at kevin@kevinswanigan.com. And remember, if you're thinking anything real estate in San Francisco, you should be thinking of me. Out.